welcome to another episode on Proven Power Cycles. Today we have a 2023 R1M and we are going to do a full Akrapovic Evolution full titanium exhaust system that we're going to do the install on, and we're also going to baseline it and show you what kind of numbers these things are making with completely stock systems, and then what it's going to make with a full exhaust system, and then with the ECU flash and dyno tune. Really excited about this one. We haven't done one. It's a brand new. It's really hard to get right now from what we're hearing. So it was really cool when this owner reached out to us and let us know that he had one and he was interested in letting us do some work to it. So it's pretty cool. But anyway, go ahead. Let's do a walk around. Let's go ahead and look at the bike. This thing is absolutely gorgeous. Seth, cue some cool music.
Oh yeah.
Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get the bike all warmed up, and right after we get it warmed up, we're going to go ahead and start doing the baselines on this completely stock R1. It has, what, 700 miles on it? Here, let's look. We're at 770 miles. This thing is brand spanking new. That is cool. Also, real quick, we did cut it open, but we did want to do the opening here on this muffler. This thing is wicked. This is a full titanium exhaust system from Akrapovic. This thing, right now, I think you can get it for about 2,500 bucks. But so it has the silencer in it. So this is something that we're gonna pull out, okay? This is something that I always recommend to a lot of people whenever they get the exhaust systems. You don't want to run these unless you really have to. Like some people, they do it for the track purposes. They have to be below a certain decibel limit. But for us, pull this out, you make a lot more power with this baffle out. So I have other videos, I have older videos where we've done testing with these in versus out, and we've retuned the bikes, and these out definitely make more power. So if you have a bike, I recommend you take these baffles out, and before you go get flashed and tuned, or let the tuner know, hey, you know, I have a baffle, should I run it, should I not run it, ask them. But every testing that we've done, at least on these larger bikes like 600cc and up, the baffle out definitely creates more power. It's a freer flowing exhaust. So, but this thing is gorgeous. It's beautiful. I love the way Akrapovic does these new mufflers. Just the cuts on them and everything is so cool. But it's a beautiful piece. So we're excited to throw this on. But let's go ahead and get the bike warmed up so we can do some baseline pulls. Guys, so we finally got done with the 2023 R1M baseline, and not the highest numbers, you know, but this is kind of what we usually see with a lot of the newer bikes anyway. We're around 165 with a lot of the other bikes, like the ZX10, well, some ZX10s that are stock, some of the Gixxers, and R1M. So this is kind of typical that we see a mid to low 160 for the baseline and 73 foot-pounds of torque. So it looks right here around this 12,000 RPM mark. That's where the restrictions really start to kick in here, which we're going to be able to pull a lot of that up. A lot of this is going to get freed up just due from the exhaust, I'm betting. So we're going to see what this full Acra is going to do once we install it. We're going to see what kind of power we're actually going to pull out with just the Akrapovic installed. So we're really, really curious. Stay with us. This is going to be really cool. All right, guys. So right now, we're in the process of installing the full Akrapovic exhaust system. Lewis and Cam, we actually got the OEM exhaust system all taken apart here. So I thought it would be actually pretty cool to go ahead and weigh the different systems. So we're gonna weigh this system, the stock system, and then we'll we got the Akrapovic sitting there with the muffler on the side there. So we'll give you a weight differences here. We've done this in past videos. People kind of got a kick out of it, so we're gonna do it in this video too. All right, we'll start with the muffler. And now look, we've already got it all tarred out. I don't know how to call it, but so we're at 2 pounds, 15 ounce. So almost 3 pounds. We're 1 ounce off of 3 pounds. We got the OEM header. Here we go. We're at 6 pounds, 6 ounces. So basically 6.5 pounds, a little under 6.5 pounds. Oh, good God. This thing's a heifer. 16 pounds and 3 ounces. We'll just say 16. So we're at basically 25.5 pounds for this system. That's insane. Really heavy. This new exhaust system's substantially lighter than that. So here is the Akrapovic. This is the header and their kind of their mid pipe. Yeah, their link pipe. Actually, this is just the primary headers that are all welded together. We just did an HP4, and they actually have a separate link pipe that's again, it's separate from all this. So, but anyway, here's the header. We're gonna go ahead and net, and this thing's stupid light, man. This thing's gonna be nothing. Hold on. 4 pounds, 6 ounces. So almost 4.5 pounds, almost. The muffler does have a little bit of weight to it. It definitely, now we are gonna take this silencer out. Again, I said this earlier in the video, we haven't done it yet. We are gonna remove that, so it will lessen the weight a little bit, but I'll leave it in there for the guys that are actually gonna utilize this for the track and whatnot. I'll leave this in there for you guys. You know, it's not gonna be a major difference. So anyway, another 4.5 pounds. So basically we're at 9 pounds more or less. So we're at a 16.5 pound difference between the factory setup and the full Akrapovic setup. That's huge weight savings on a R1M. That's a major deduction on weight. That bike is already light. It's got carbon fiber fairings, carbon fiber fender. It's stupid light. They actually, there's a lot of little things that they don't even have on the bike because of weight savings, where they've stripped weight off that bike. So very impressive bike. So anyway, 16.5 pounds on weight savings. And again, it'll probably be another ½ pound taking that insert out. So pretty substantial. But anyway, we wanted to give you an update while we're in the middle of the installation process. And yeah, we're gonna get it on the dyno here soon, and we'll start tuning it here very shortly. We got the 23 R1M on the dyno. We got the full exhaust installed. We're gonna go ahead. We haven't started it yet. We just wiped it all down, and we just got the final install done. So we're gonna do a little sound check real quick. We did remove the baffle. By the way, I did end up weighing the baffle. We didn't get it on camera, but I did weigh the little silencer, and it was in fact right at ½ pound. So we saved a little bit more weight just getting that off the bike as well. So anyway, we're gonna do a sound check real quick and fire it up, get it warmed up. We're gonna baseline it, and then we're gonna go ahead and go through the full ECU flash and dyno tuning process, and we'll go ahead and compare the stock baseline, the baseline with the full exhaust, and then the final tune. So really curious to see what this thing's gonna lay out. This is a brand new R1M, so I haven't seen any numbers yet. Doesn't mean they're not out there, I just haven't seen them yet. So So we're gonna go over the numbers real quick here on the full Akrapovic exhaust install. So we actually picked up some power down low in the lower RPM range. We picked up a good solid 5 wheel or so on the low end going up into mid-range for this Acra. Picked up another about 4 wheel here at 7,000 RPM. Air fuel's real lean. We get super lean on the air fuel ratios, but eventually they kind of come back down here right around 9,000 RPM, and then they kind of dance around our target air fuel. But overall, we actually lost horsepower for the mid-range going up into top end versus that stock system.
However, one thing I wanted to point out, yesterday was actually a halfway decent day. Today, a little bit different. We have a little bit more heat and a lot more humidity. We're about 12% more humidity. You know, it's kind of expected to see a little bit of power drop, but needless to say, this is quite a bit of power loss up here with this full exhaust. But again, we haven't tuned it yet. We haven't touched anything yet. So we're getting ready to go in. We're getting ready to do a bench flash on it now, or a base map. We're gonna set that in the bike first, and then we're gonna roll out from there and see what we can pull out of this thing today. All right, guys, so we got the R1M all wrapped up. The customer just left not too long ago, and we got the graphs all pulled up. So we're gonna go over the numbers real quick. The bike did good considering what it had on the bike, okay? Keep that in mind. It's not like he had an air filter, chain and sprocket, and some of the other little mods that you can do on the bike, okay? The only thing that he had done to this bike was just the full exhaust system. That's it. And it had very, very low miles. So realistically, it probably has another, I don't know, 700-800 miles to go before it'll make a little bit more power once the rings seat a little bit more, and there's a few more miles that get put on the bike. Typically, you know, what we've noticed over time is around the 1500 to like 2500 range. That's kind of when bikes really, really produce very good numbers. You know, I don't have concrete evidence, and again, every bike is going to wear a little bit differently and every bike's going to do differently, but typically, that's what I have noticed over the years, is right around that range that we really make some good power at that mileage point. But all right, without further ado, the numbers. The first thing we're going to go over is the stock baseline. This was 100% stock exhaust, stock chain and sprocket, stock air fit, stock, very stock. It laid out 161 wheel horsepower and 73 foot-pounds of torque. And if we look down here, a little laggy coming up through the mid-range up to higher RPM. It actually pulled pretty good. We did not get an air-fuel ratio with this pull. Really wish we would have, but we ended up not getting an air-fuel ratio with that system. We were honestly just trying to get the bike in and out pretty quickly, or get it off the dyno pretty quickly so that we could start doing the exhaust swap. So, but as you can see, so the blue line below it is actually with the full Akrapovic installed. And if you look down at the lower RPM, we actually picked up a little bit of power with the Akrapovic. It picked up about, where are we at? 79, 70, okay. So we picked up about 3 wheel and about roughly 2 foot-pounds of torque at the lower RPM. Nothing crazy, you know, that's around 7,000 actually. So nothing super crazy. And then we actually lost power going from about 8,500 RPM, basically up to 12,000 RPM. Or 12.5. We lost power installing the Akrapovic. The air fuel ratio with the Akrapovic installed, not bad, from like 8,700 and up. It's really not horrible. It goes a little lean here at 12.5. It gets pretty lean at 13.8, 11.5 or so. It's actually right on the money. Like, this is all pretty good except for that one little spot. But again, we're not really producing the power that we really want. So once you pair that with the actual flash and dyno tune, that's where we ended up finishing here at, we ended at a peak power of 181 and peak torque of peak torque of almost 78 foot-pounds of torque was the peak readout. So, and if we look, we got the air fuel pretty damn close. This is where the velocity stacks are changing, so you're gonna get some rippling effect. And then we leave it a little fat up at the higher RPMs. We do leave it a little rich. Just so we account for a little bit of extra ram air or temperature differences, but the rest of the time we're usually pretty conservative on some of these street bikes. But all in all, still damn good power considering he came in at 161. He's leaving at 181 peak versus peak, which means the highest horsepower point versus the other highest horsepower point that it was data logged on the entire pool. So, but if we actually take up here near the rev limiter, near 14,000 RPM, we actually went from 150 horsepower to 179. So we're closer to 29 wheel gain at the higher RPM there. So massive gains up top. And then if we take right here, we'll take 10,000 RPM. We went from 135 to 145 was the final number. So we picked up a solid 10 wheel there. And then we'll pick a lower RPM here. Let's say 7,000 RPM. We're gonna go from the 76 wheel horsepower to 88. So 12 wheel there. Big gains, guys. So in old videos, or some of my older videos, I should say, I have gone over this quite a few times, and I'm gonna keep going over it for all the new viewers out there. But if any dyno session or any kind of power adder that you've added to the bike, whenever you see anything greater than like 6% or more, that's gonna be a very noticeable difference to the rider. So if your gains are 6% or greater on the dyno, whether it be through the tuning or you added cams, whatever, you did engine work, chain and sprocket, exhaust, whatever. If you get that 6% or more, you're gonna feel that on the basically whenever you're hitting the throttle and everything. They call it the butt dyno. You're going to feel that difference. So in this case, in some of these changes, we're seeing 10 wheel, we're seeing about 12, 15%, sometimes a little bit greater than that. So almost double what you would expect or what you would feel. We're doubling that. So the feeling, the sensation that the rider is going to get is going to be pretty substantial on the differences between the tune and how he came in stock. So just to notate that out there. So, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We tried to make it kind of short and sweet on this one. We still have a ton of work we're trying to get through. We got quite a few bikes in here that we're dynoing. We really appreciate the support, guys. If you could, please leave a comment down below. Tell us what you think about the numbers. We've been talking to some of the European guys saying that the dyno numbers are low here in the States, and it's cool. We're going back and forth on it. It's fun. So, but tell us, leave a comment down below and tell us what you think about this. Thank you for the support. Please like and subscribe if you could. That would mean the world to us. And stay safe out there, guys, and we'll see you on another episode.